Okay, this is an interesting video for me. So I just got done recording a couple of the videos for the Detroit Lions side of this on our other channel, our original channel, Sports Talk Detroit. Like, we're not shy about this. We're Lions fans. And I remember the bitter taste of going into Carolina in the freezing cold at the end of last year and the Lions just getting our butts kicked by your Carolina Panthers. And so in this preseason game, there is, just to be clear, it's preseason. There's no revenge here. None of this matters. But I had to, for the first time as I'm watching the game, sit down and take notes because I wanted to just watch it as a fan of the Detroit Lions, but I knew I'd be coming on here and making a video for the Panthers as well. So I wanted to take some notes on what the Panthers were doing as well as the Lions. So here were my takeaways. Full transparency. Full transparency. They're almost solely offensive takeaways because I was so busy paying attention to our offense when our offense was on the field. So it was easier for me to pay attention to your offense when they were on the field. But if you like this channel, want more Panthers content, we love the teams that the national media doesn't talk about enough. This is your spot. Like, subscribe, comment. Would love to hear from you in the chat. So here's what we got on this video. I wrote down some takeaways, so don't mind me looking to read. The first one is, this is finally what we wanted to see. When Frank Reich, who called the plays in the first half, opened up the offense just a little bit, like not a lot, but enough. And it allowed that opening up the offense allowed Bryce Young to get creative with it. Now, again, this was against the Lions' second team, but here's some of the things that Bryce Young showed me. He showed me, one, that yes, sometimes he stays a little too long in the pocket, but he has a good feel for the pocket and he has a good feel of when to run. There was a couple times against man coverage that he took off for a first down. There was another couple of times where we had him dead to rights and he just made defenders look silly. He is hard to tackle. He is very smooth. He's a smooth runner. He got down. He didn't take contact, which is obviously coached, but at the same time, you hope that he continues to do it in the regular season. Clearly, it's coached in the preseason. So as we continue to talk about Bryce Young, the other thing that I noticed is that his timing is there. It is absolutely there with Thielen. I think it's there with Mingo. So, because there was a good catch by Mingo. Oh, man, did Mingo get separation. Like, he got separation on Dorsey, that first throw of the game, I believe it was. I mean, he was like 8 yards away from him. That was nuts. So anyways, exciting things there. I guess that's another takeaway that I didn't necessarily write down, but it was there. So here's when I watch Bryce Young actually have time to throw. Here's kind of some of the things that he reminds me of. And I'm going to use big names here, and I'm not saying he's going to be this, but he is the number one pick in the NFL draft. So you can't tell me I'm stupid either. There are things of Russell Wilson in his game, the fluidity in the way he runs. There are also in throwing mechanics. I'll get to that in a second. There's also some Drew Brees in him. And part of that's because he's shorter. But here's what I noticed with Drew Brees, his finish, he kind of gets up on his toes to throw, kind of like Drew Brees does. And so his balance with everything is similar to Drew Brees, but he starts from back here with his throw. Hopefully I didn't get too far from the mic. He starts back here almost like a shot put, almost like a catapult. And that's Russell Wilson. So I saw both of those throwing motions in him, but also the way the ball comes out of his hand looks similar to those guys as well. It's not coming out with just extreme speed, but man, oh man, every time he throws it, you're like, oh, that's going to look good. There was one throw that got away from him on the sideline where he was trying to beat cover 2 and he was trying to get it in between the corner and the safety. That didn't work out so well. All right, so enough about Bryce Young. I've spent half the video talking about him, but it's your number one pick. It's your quarterback of the future. It's your franchise. That's who we want to hear about. Like, that's who we want to hear about. Number 2, I thought the running backs looked good. Like, I thought they actually looked really good, and the stats didn't fully back it up, but they didn't say that they didn't either. Spencer Brown. Let's talk about this guy. He was drafted in 2021 by you. He's out of UAB. He is listed right now at 220 pounds. This is on PFF. He's 24 years old. obviously he's going to come in. I think he's going to be on this roster. He just is. He's vying for that third back spot. And your running backs coach, it's hard for me to say the name because I just miss him. I miss Deuce Staley. You got a good running backs coach. I like our new running backs coach too, but you have a good one. And Deuce Staley, they were talking about it on the broadcast. I've read this too. It loves Spencer Brown. And I can see why he loves Spencer Brown. One of the knocks on Brown was coming out of college, he'd just be a dump it off, not very good in the pass protection, not good in the pass like play, but I didn't see that at all. Also, they were saying he lacked adequate burst. I disagree. So he has improved on his game over the last couple of years, and I think that he could be a contributor for this team if there's injury struggles at the running back position. Raheem Blackshear, solid. He's solid. So you have yourself 4 good running backs. That is a position that is absolutely not in flux. Miles Sanders, I understand there's some injury stuff going on. Chuba Hubbard, Raheem Blackshear, Spencer Brown, you guys are in a really, really good spot. I think the other thing that kind of stuck out to me with wide receiver, Adam Thielen does not look as fast as he did in Minnesota, but he did not look as fast in Minnesota last year either. He doesn't look any slower than he did last year. But he did show that he can continue to get open. And the timing routes with Young are there with Thielen. I also think it just shows something about what the players are believing in this team and in this coaching staff, that a 33, 34-year-old Adam Thielen is going to get hurt in a preseason game. He's going to have the medical staff look at him. He's John with CJ Gardner-Johnson, which he never stops talking, right? So Gardner-Johnson, not Thielen. And then he comes back in the game, makes a couple catches. One of them is for a touchdown. That's buy-in. That's him saying that he wants this rookie quarterback to have success. He wants this offense to taste success. He wants this offensive line to be rewarded for the hard work they put in. This was the best outing by the Carolina offensive line by far. So all these things are happening, and it's good. Mingo, once again, he's not targeted a ton in this preseason, but when he is, he has the look of somebody who can be an electric playmaker for this team. A guy who can do some things after the catch, a guy who, what I've been amazed with is some of his route running and the underneath stuff. I just didn't know he had it. He was one of my favorites coming out, and I've told you that on this channel, so I'm not going to spend too much time on Mingo. Shi Smith. He looked quick. He looked twitchy to me. And the stats don't necessarily back it up, but he really did look twitchy to me. And another guy who kind of looked twitched up to me, believe it or not, was Javon Wims. So I think there's some talent there. You guys are fine. Here's one thing that I will admit. When the starters left, the drop-off from starters to backups is drastic. The team doesn't have the depth yet. You know this. Don't get mad at me for hearing it. I mean, when your starters left and it was second team versus second team, the Lions won the second quarter 20-0. That's not what you want to see. But preseason wins, losses don't matter. You want to see your offense have success. You wanted your rookie quarterback to taste success. You got all that. This is a successful preseason game for both teams. Panthers should be happy with what you did with the first team. Lions should be happy with the depth on their team. So that's all I got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Comment, subscribe, like the video, and hopefully we'll see you on the next one. See ya.